Hello and welcome to a Celtic State of Mind's live half-time analysis of Kilmarnock versus Celtic, where it's a Matt O'Reilly goal that separates the two sides in what was an eventful, action-packed first half. I think Celtic deserved to be in front. Anthony, you could say there was so many chances in the first sort of 20-25 minutes where you're getting a bit worried about how wasteful Celtic were being, don't you think?
Yeah, no, we the tempo was good right from the get-go. So we started well. The passing was moving forwards a lot, especially in that first 20 minutes. Created multiple opportunities, some good crosses coming in from both wings. Just crying out for somebody to get on the end of them. You'd almost say that they were tailor-made for Kyogo, but unfortunately, we're a couple of sliding efforts, just not quite timing yet, and then a couple of shots wayward, and you just sort of start to settle in at that 25-minute mark. You start to think, I hope, because you expect that Kilmarnock will come at the game a little bit, but you're sort of thinking, really need to take one of those chances. And then thankfully we did, and we got the goal. And I definitely think, I agree, we should definitely be in front. However, we did gift a couple of gilt-edged chances back to Kilmarnock as that half wore on as well. So, I definitely think another goal for us is definitely on the cards if we're going to see this one out comfortably.
Yeah, I mentioned just there the amount of chances that were passed. I'm just going to run through a couple of them in that first half. Mikey Johnson was causing a lot of problems for Conan Dabba. Hyun-Gyu, I'm seeing a lot of people talking about him in the comments. 300 of you, 400 of you joining us for this halftime broadcast. Thank you all for coming along. Mikey Johnson making a good run behind. Leaves it for O, who he's leaning back and he blasts it over. And then a couple more good efforts, big chance. McGregor plays Mikey Johnson over the top, who makes a good run behind. He looks to put that one on our plate, Kevin, for O, who at full stretch can't get it. And then Palmer smacks the post. I'm seeing a lot of discourse surrounding O, and we've got to think Kyogo will be sat on that bench wondering, where was all this service when I was playing? Where was all this when I was playing? Do you think you could see Kyogo at some point in that second half?
I think we likely will, yeah. I don't think it'll be an immediate introduction at the start of the half, but I think he'll come on maybe the last 20 minutes or so, and it will be that Brendan Rodgers thing that he'll end this game with the majority of the team he wants to start on Wednesday night. So that's probably going back to something that Anthony said before the game started there, that he reckons Kyogo will start on Wednesday or midweek. I think it's Wednesday we play, isn't it? Anyway, midweek game. And I think that's what it'll be. He'll come on, he'll get his minutes there under his legs. And he must have been looking at that and just thinking, that cross from Mikey Johnson was tailor-made for Kyogo at the near post. You'd put your money on him to score. You put your money on O to score. He's unlucky that he doesn't. He just needs a touch in it, and he'll get it in. I'm not sure how he doesn't manage to get the touch. But you always say for a striker that, the important thing is to score. The second most important thing is to be there to miss. And always there to miss it. And next time he'll be there again. And you're confident enough with him these days that he'll put it in the back of the net if he gets another chance. But Kyogo must be sitting wondering, what might have been.
Yeah, you've got to think, they'll take the chance soon enough if they continue to present themselves in that second half. I want to come to the goal, Anthony. It comes at a perfect time as well, because just a matter of moments before it, that's a massive chance for Kilmarnock. Danny Armstrong ghosts in behind Greg Taylor at the back post, and his effort crashes off of the crossbar. Celtic survive that scare, and then they answer with a perfect response as they break up the field. Cal McGregor, he does brilliantly for the goal, but the first thing I want to mention, Mikey Johnson cutting inside. I thought he had a really good first half. I want to touch on him a little bit later. Cal McGregor completely sells the Kilmarnock. I think he sells about 3 or 4 of them with the dummy before he finally lets fly with a shot. It's a good save by Will Dennis, who was having a bit of a blinder in that first half. And then who else? But Matt O'Reilly is in the right place at the right time. I've spoke so often this season of how far on his attacking instincts have come on, his finishing in particular. And no surprise that he's now tied for top scorer in the league. And he was in the right place at the right time there, wasn't he, Anthony?
Yeah, no, I anticipated that. McGregor, it was a lot of composure. And that's probably just what we needed, a wee bit of composure, because we created the chances. It just needed somebody just to actually is that a wee touch of class, and McGregor just selling that dummy just opens himself up for the shot. Keepers played really well. I mean, every week keepers in this league seem to just rise above it when they're playing us. But yeah, up to that point, hadn't put a foot wrong. He's obviously got a hand to McGregor's save, McGregor's shot, but he's obviously parried it into the way of Matt O'Reilly. And the Kilmarnock defence is quite static, and they've got their hands up trying to wait for offside. But Matt O'Reilly's come from an onside position and absolutely leathered at home. I guess the point is, last season, I think it took Matt O'Reilly nearly the final quarter of the season to score his first goal in the league. And this time, at this point in time, he's, like you say, top joint scorer with 9 goals. He's added goals to his game. That was the missing part of his game last season, and he's adding them in spades. And like you say, it's that anticipation. Like, he just knew where to be, and not only that, but he absolutely leathered it into the back of the net. So there was absolutely no doubt where that ball was going. So yeah, like you say, it's always the way in it. Like, they nearly score, and we just straight up the park and respond. And rightly so. I mean, we'd had enough chances there to be, we could have been 3-0 up at halftime, and you wouldn't have batted an eyelid. You said, yeah, on the balance of play and the number of chances that we created, absolutely. To go in nothing each, you would be unhappy. To go down 1-0 down, you'd be raging. So like I said, so to be 1-0 up at the moment, yes, but we need more in the second half.
Yeah, the stat that would always flash up on Sky's broadcasts was, I think it was the most shots without a goal, and Matt O'Reilly was always at the top of that chart. So we haven't seen that very often this season. So that's, if at all this season, so that's a testament to how good Matt O'Reilly's been so far. Thank you to everyone who's commented so far, 600 of you. Scott, how wasteful, lucky to be winning. Michelle Danks, positive first half, 2 completely different outlooks there. Mikey put one on a platter for O, and he fluffed it. I hope that when that opportunity comes up, O will eventually take that chance to smell the golf. O has sadly been watching Ryan Christie's shooting videos. Well, Ryan Christie would often blast over from range, whereas O's have been fairly gilt-edged chances. But Kevin, I want to come to you on the goal as well. Perfect timing for it. And there's so many different factors to it as well. When you look at a tap-in goal, you can just assume it's a bit of a lucky goal, especially from a rebound. But it was some good play from Celtic, a perfect reaction as well. A reaction was one of the key things we were touching on, a reaction from the defeat in the Fireplay Cup against Kilmarnock at Rugby Park earlier in the season. And I don't even think it's just a reaction to that. We got a reaction to the last away game as well against St George that took Celtic about 60, 65 minutes to really get going. Whereas in the first 10 minutes, you could probably count about 4 or 5 clear-cut chances that Celtic created. So it was a really positive start to the game. Didn't have the goal to show for it, and they do get it eventually and at the right time.
Yeah, exactly. I think we started the game with lots of energy. There was a really high tempo about it, and guys have touched on that already there. But that's something that's been missing from our recent games, especially away from home. We were a little bit too passive to begin with, but today we've come out. We started to say high tempo, high energy, and we've maintained it for the whole half as well. There's not really been a lull, which is where the opposition tend to gain their foothold in the game. Kilmarnock's done all right. They've defended well enough, and they've created a couple of chances, but there's more been on breakaways rather than having any kind of concerted pressure in the game, because I think we have taken it to them from the beginning and we've kept it going. But there's something there, like what Anthony was saying about the goal and when we get it, and it made me think of us in Europe, that it was the reverse, because normally, we're the team that comes so close to scoring, and then 60 seconds later the game's over, we've lost the goal. So it's nice to see it going the other way around, and that's what we can do. At this level, it sounds maybe derogatory to say it like that, but at this level, we've definitely got what it takes to be able to turn games very, very quickly. We get a wee bit of break. It's a bad chance to give away the one we do. So we get a bit of a break when they miss it, but we're straight up the park. Mikey Johnson does really well, I think, to set up the initial chance for Callum McGregor. It's a beautiful thing to see him switching that ball on his right foot and sending 3 defenders the wrong way. That's lovely to see. And then O'Reilly, it's like the goal up at Fir Park all over again. The finish on that one, because it's composed, it's a side foot, and he's angled it into the roof of the net. There's just no way the keeper's getting that. It's a really, really good goal, and coming at a really vital time, because if Kilmarnock had scored, then they go 1-0 up against the run of play. if we don't, even if they don't score, but we don't go up the park and take the lead, you've given them a little bit of impetus. Danny Armstrong's beginning to look dangerous. So that goal just kind of knocks them back a little bit and keeps us obviously on top. Got a goal, which is the least that we deserve for the pressure. And yeah, again, Anthony's spot on. We need to go out there and start of the second half, keep that level of pressure going. And if we can get an early second goal, then I think we can relax a little bit more into this one.
Yeah, Anthony, the stats will show that it was a really dominant first half from Celtic, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't without its chances for Kilmarnock. As I mentioned, Danny Armstrong hitting the bar earlier on, and he continued to cause problems after Celtic did take the lead. And he got in fairly easily past, I think it's a combination of Greg Taylor and Cal McGregor on that flank. Gets his shot off, it's well saved by Joe Hart, but he parries it into an area where Corey and Daba can have a go, and a tumbling Alistair Johnston, I don't think he knew anything about it. He seems to be falling over at that point, inadvertently blocks it and inadvertently keeps Celtic ahead. How big a moment do you think that'll be? And it also shows the importance for Celtic to start that second half strongly, because the threat's still there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the threat's not gone away. We probably got a wee bit of luck in that moment. AJ didn't have a clue what had happened there, but thankfully it struck him on his left shoulder, I believe. Sky Sports says, one pundit's arguing it may have hit his arm, but, to me, it looked like it hit his upper shoulder. And, if his hand's planted and it was against his body, then it's in a natural position anyway. We got a bit fortunate in that regard. I suppose Danny Armstrong's definitely the one that's causing this grief down our left-hand side. So we probably need to try and smarten up and tighten up there and prevent that from causing us any issues in the second half. I would say that we've probably given away a couple of cheap free kicks, both Palmer and Mikey Johnson on both wings. We really need to cut those out, because realistically that is one of their most likely avenues for getting an equaliser, is from a set piece. So we really shouldn't be giving away soft free kicks sort of, in our final third. We really need to just stand up and just, let them play it back and recycle possession sort of thing. So some just about a bit tighten up on a bit. And I just probably the thing to say is that AJ and Mikey Johnson are probably linking up really, really well on an attacking sense, more so. But I kind of feel Greg Taylor and Palmer not quite gelling quite as well today in particular. But yeah, like I said, it's just, we just need to start positively the second half. Like you say, if we keep giving the service to O, he will score. But I dare say he's got about 15 minutes to get on the score sheet, because I dare say our man from Japan will be making an appearance at some point.
Yeah, I think the hour mark is the minute that you'll be looking to call that on. I'm glad you mentioned the cheap free kicks that we've been giving away, because predominantly we've been conceding from set-piece situations domestically this season. It's been happening far too often, and far too many calamitous goals have been conceded from situations like that as well. So Rodgers, I'm sure, will be affirming to the team to cut that one out. A couple more comments coming in. Palma needs to up his game. I thought he had a pretty quiet game. He'll be kicking himself that they didn't score at that effort that smacks the post. The angle is incredibly tight, but we know how good at finishing he is. He would have hoped to have converted that chance. George Robertson, Mikey Johnson has done very well. Matt O'Reilly has a touch like an angel, and Nat Phillips is smoking cigars. Well, that's one way to close out. Nat Phillips has come on under a bit of criticism, but I thought he was solid enough in that first half. There's a couple of moments where him and Scales were driving forward and looking to really cause some problems. I've just got the notification from Live Score that the second half is back underway. Thank you to 500 of you for joining us live here on the halftime analysis, and we hope you'll stick around with us for the full-time broadcast.